And on Friday, the Nobel Committee made the following announcement.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado.
Nonsense. Bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Come on, nobody likes a sore loser.
The Trump administration, Tina, they paint a picture of lawlessness and complete chaos, that we, all of us, are overwhelmed by the facts on the ground. And all he's doing is advancing the fundamental paradigm of law and order. And it's remarkable that we are not more.
Oh, by the way, Caroline Levitt on Air Force One yesterday, not only did Trump decide to poll the reporters on whether or not she should be allowed to keep her job, he took a little tour through Creepy Town, too.
How's Caroline doing? She doing good? Should Caroline be replaced?
No. That's up to you, sir.
It'll never happen.
Nobody wants to.
I think she does a great job.
Thank you.
Do you want to elaborate on the video?
And those lips, they move like a machine gun, right?
Kimmel leaned in and said, "You ever notice how every Trump policy rollout feels like the setup to a joke that never lands?" Newsom laughed, but not because it was funny, because it was true. Together they traced how the chaos, the tweets, and the tantrums weren't random. They were the script. And folks, that script was built for ratings, not results. Why would a late-night comedian and a state governor be sitting around dissecting presidential policy like it's an improv class gone wrong? Because that's exactly what it looked like. Jimmy Kimmel once called Trump's presidency the longest-running improv act in political history. And you can see why. Kimmel and Gavin Newsom watched one of those Trump press briefings where every line sounded rehearsed, but never in a good way. It had that same rhythm as a bad comedy bit. Catchphrases, pauses for applause, and wild confidence about things that made zero sense. He'd walk up to the podium like he was walking on stage at a casino in Atlantic City. The man gave off more showman energy than most Vegas headliners.
Last week, the Norwegian government, they have one, by the way, the Norwegian government, they was worried about Trump retaliating against them if he didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. And the woman who did win, Maria Corina Machado, was maybe a little nervous about it, too, because she felt the need to call him about it.
The person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it.
Normally, a government briefing tells you what's actually happening. Funding, timelines, accountability. Under Trump, it turned into a live broadcast designed to spike ratings. The more off-script he went, the happier his base seemed. Kimmel leaned back during one of the briefings and said, "It's like he's running a late-night show where the joke is the country." He wasn't far off. Every announcement felt like an episode teaser without the episode ever arriving. Nowhere was that clearer than during the saga of Infrastructure Week. It became the running gag of Washington. Every time it was announced, people played a guessing game. Would it last a day or two before a new scandal hit? It was promised, postponed, and reintroduced so many times it deserved its own theme song. Kimmel used to joke that Infrastructure Week was the White House's version of Groundhog Day. No bridges ever got built, but the punchlines sure did.
Again, this is a hot mic situation from the ceasefire ceremony in Egypt yesterday. Listen in as the president of Indonesia hits Trump up for an in with his kids. It's the first time anyone has ever asked to meet Eric. It's exciting. He's such a good boy. He's such a good boy.
Trump treated national projects like episodes of a reality show that never passed the pilot stage. Kimmel called it keeping up with the cabinet, where secretaries came and went faster than cast members on The Bachelorette. One week, someone quit. The next, a new character entered. And through it all, Trump played the star, director, and self-declared genius behind the chaos. Newsom pointed out that even policy meetings resembled table reads, except instead of scripts, there were loyalty oaths. Preparation got replaced by performance, and everyone knew who the lead actor was. But the chaos wasn't random. It was carefully packaged. Kimmel noticed that every blunder somehow launched a new season premiere. If things looked too calm, Trump would stir the pot and roll the cameras again. It was like lighting a fire, then holding a press conference to brag about discovering it. That rhythm became the presidency's business model. Drama for engagement, outrage for ratings. America's Got Tantrums stopped being a joke and became a way of life. Even the serious stuff, like diplomacy, got turned into showbiz.
You upset, Governor?
Well, how can you not be? I've got 4 kids. 80% of their toys under their Christmas tree come from China. I've got family members living paycheck to paycheck. Many family members. My mom, who passed away years and years ago, was one of them. I mean, no rationale, no plan.
Meetings with foreign leaders looked less like political negotiations and more like celebrity beefs on social media. The president, who once obsessed over TV ratings, now ran the country as if trending was governing. Policy wasn't designed to fix things, but to sell the next episode. Numbers were optional, consequences were irrelevant, and the only measure of success was how many headlines it produced by morning. Newsom liked to say the White House had been rebranded into a theater of self-congratulation. Trump stood in the middle of every disaster, congratulating himself for surviving the chaos he helped create. He narrated the whole mess like an autobiography with special effects. He was the hero, the victim, and the editor-in-chief. Real solutions vanished under hashtags and one-liners. The audience wasn't the American people anymore. It was a fan base being managed like a crowd at a live studio taping. That's when Kimmel and Newsom realized the deeper con. The president didn't just act like he was on TV. He structured the presidency exactly that way. It ran on cliffhangers, spin-offs, and reruns. Politics turned into bingeable entertainment, and the nation got stuck refreshing feeds instead of rebuilding roads. And as the hosts peeled back the script, they found an even stranger twist. The show wasn't meant to end.
No president has ever been more committed to peace. And he's arresting all the rabble-rousers to prove it.
We have arrested dozens of individuals that are Antifa members or affiliated with them, and I want to thank our Attorney General for prosecuting them and making sure they never see the light of day again.
That's just the Secretary of Homeland Security suggesting we lock up American protesters.
If the show was chaos, what kept the cameras rolling? Easy. Chaos paid in clicks. Every scandal, tweet, and tantrum became part of a steady rhythm. Create outrage, deny responsibility, claim victory, repeat. Kimmel once joked that Trump's White House worked like a coffee machine that only brews scandals. The moment one finished, another started dripping. The formula was simple but effective. A controversy erupted. Critics barked, allies spun, and Trump declared himself the hero of the mess he made. It was a marketing loop disguised as governance. Every disaster came with its own promo trailer. Kimmel noticed that Trump treated each scandal like a product launch. You could almost hear him saying, "You're gonna love this one, folks? It's huge." The drama wasn't a glitch. It was the business model. As one expert put it, every scandal is fuel. Every outrage, a new marketing opportunity. Instead of reducing the chaos, the White House used it for free publicity. Bad press became good branding. And once the headlines cooled down, a new controversy was rolled out, just in time for primetime coverage. It was politics redesigned as a continuous ad campaign. Infrastructure Week became the best-running example of that act. Newsom pointed out that it was never about roads or bridges. It was about changing the subject. Every time the administration caught fire, they dusted off Infrastructure Week and promised greatness again. It became the White House's magic trick. Just as the audience leaned in for a grand finale, the magician pulled out the same rabbit from the same hat. Kimmel compared it to a magician who keeps saying, "Wait for it," while the audience stares at the empty hat. The trick wasn't the project, it was the distraction.
It was about the United States of America. He doesn't believe in that. He believes in the red states. He's going after, he's a war. He's a wartime president. He's the head of a war party. War on women, war on voting rights, war on Hispanics, a war on this state, war on institutions I want, war on history. I mean, this is serious. This guy's trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize. That's what he's going to try to say tomorrow in Alaska, that he's the big guy trying to find peace, really? When he's bringing war to the American people? He put military in the streets, not of Baghdad. And he didn't send the military in his first administration anywhere in the world. He sent the United States Marines into the United States of America in one of the bluest cities in this country, in Los Angeles, one of the great cities, American cities. That's what Donald Trump did. He is a wartime president.
Even global diplomacy started looking like a celebrity feud. Newsom once said, Trump negotiates like he's haggling at a flea market, walks into alliances like a bull into a china shop, and calls it diplomacy when he accidentally trips over success. Every foreign meeting looked like a red carpet moment rather than a strategic discussion. Instead of policy outcomes, there were hashtags and photo ops. Theatrics replaced negotiations. International allies stopped being partners and started being extras in Trump's reality show. He performed foreign relations the same way he performed business, loudly, publicly, and mostly for applause. Slogans did the heavy lifting. Plans vanished under banners that barely meant anything. Newsom said it bluntly. The line between politics and parody has evaporated. Make America great again sounded like a promise, but worked better as merch. Complex problems like climate policy or healthcare were boiled down to catchphrases. Kimmel teased him for treating the economy like a magic show. As Newsom explained, he sells prosperity like a magic trick. Distract the audience long enough, and they'll clap before realizing their wallets are lighter. It was the political version of smoke and mirrors, except the smoke came from his own dumpster fires.
And then it was Trump's turn to ratchet up the rhetoric with fiery images conjured from no one has any idea where.
One thing I have to say is that Washington, D.C. was almost as bad. I don't know what could be worse than Portland. You don't even have sewers anymore. They don't even put glass up. They put plywood on their windows.
Poor people, they look out the window, they see wood. They don't have glass. I don't know what's scarier, the idea that he's making this all up or that he might actually believe this stuff. There are no stores in Portland. It's as if he's getting his intelligence briefings from reruns of The Wall.
This performance style trained the audience to crave tension over truth. The spectacle rewired the public's attention span. The more outrageous the event, the better the engagement. It became political junk food. He fed the outrage, and people kept coming back for seconds. Kimmel described it as a presidency that runs on caffeine, ego, and denial. Even failure looked intentional because it was delivered with confidence. Every blunder became branding. He'd turn a mistake into a meme, then into campaign material. By the time the smoke cleared, the next storm was already brewing.
After I sign these two pieces of legislation establishing a special session and the maps, I also will be signing a proclamation on November 4th, the people of the state of California, in a transparent and, as Speaker and Pro Tem said, temporary and democratic way, will have the opportunity to determine their fate in our collective future.
That's the dark secret Kimmel and Newsom uncovered. There wasn't one giant scandal hiding behind the curtain. It was the curtain itself. Trump replaced policy with performance. He turned the entire government into a stage show where confusion passed as energy and applause replaced achievement. It was politics as spectacle, governance as theater. The real trick wasn't the chaos itself. It was making people believe chaos meant action. Trump didn't lead through stability. He managed through noise. The louder the confusion, the stronger he looked. The media played into it, turning every tantrum into top billing. Viewers got hooked on the outrage, mistaking it for progress. Kimmel said he built sentences from spare parts, which perfectly fit a system built from distraction. So next time you hear Infrastructure Week coming back around, don't just nod. Check whether they're fixing bridges or just rebuilding reruns of the same old circus.